What's up? Welcome to Great Whale Investing. I'm Alex. I am your host. Today I'm going to be talking about how to invest in Magic the Gathering cards. Whew! Magic the Gathering, a game created in 1993 by Richard Garfield. We're not going to talk about it like that. But yeah, today we're going to be talking about how to invest in little rectangles that go up in value. So I'm going to make this into a two-part series. We're going to do a part for Magic players and a part for Muggles. Okay? Just people who don't play Magic, as I like to call them, Muggles. So we will do two different parts. So for this part, I'm going to be talking about how to invest in Magic cards if you are a Magic player. So you will already know about things like, TCGplayer.com generally and eBay and stuff like that. But just in case, I'm going to go over that. So in order to invest in Magic cards, you have to decide first and foremost, well, the first thing you want to decide is, do you have enough money to invest? Okay. So if you take a look at the money that you have and it is being used currently for things like bills, to pay off debts, rainy day fund, whatever it may be, if you're using money already, don't invest. That's it. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. But if you're using the money, you can't invest with it. So you have to be using money that you're not using. Okay, so money that is sitting there, lying around. There's this pesky little thing called inflation. What happens is, as more money is printed, all the money that currently exists goes down in value. It loses purchasing power. In a separate video, I'll probably talk more about, the hyperinflation question mark that's happened in the last year or so. But just in general, know that your money goes down a little bit every year. And because of that, you're looking for a way to store that money so that it holds its purchasing power. So that if you buy 5 bushels of apples today, you could still buy 5 bushels of apples next year or in 10 years or maybe 6 bushels of apples. That's basically what investing is at the end of the day. So, first we're going to talk about why Magic cards. Okay, so assuming that you play Magic, you probably already have some cards. They could vary by set, vary by year, condition, all that stuff. So think about if you're a legacy player, let's say. That means you've been playing Magic for a long time, or you just have a lot of money, either way. And you probably have some cards that are worth a lot. Dual lands, Force of Wills, Wastelands, stuff like that. You have cards that, like, a single copy of it would be worth more than an entire standard deck. In some cases, more than an entire modern deck, even. So if you're a legacy player and you're not selling your old cards, especially reserve list cards, if you're not selling them, like you're using the deck, or you have it in a box, or you're waiting for events to open up, or whatever it is, you are already investing. Whether you know it or not, whether you like it or not, you're already investing because you are holding on to, over the course of time, an item that is divorced from what happens to the dollar. And I know that's a kind of a crazy concept to think about, but Magic reserve list card, let's pick dual land, like Tropical Island, let's say. Tropical Island is going to increase in value over time. The reason is because it is a scarce item. There's only a few of them in the world compared to basic forests from Theros, okay? So by comparison to other cards, it's scarce. So its price is going to go up. It might go up quickly. It might go up slowly. It might go up really fast and go down a little bit and recorrect itself, but then go back. That's who knows? That's going to be for more charts and statistics, and we're not going to be doing a lot of those on this channel. But basically, what you could know is that if you have a tropical island, in 5 years, that tropical island will be worth more. How much more? I can't tell you, but it'll be worth more. And that's pretty much proven. It's provable, pretty much. Well, what else? What other things can you play? If you don't play Legacy, you don't have dual lands, what else? Let's say you're a Modern player. You have Modern cards, okay? Modern is a little bit different. Modern has cards in the card pool is consisted of only cards that can be reprinted. A card not being on the reserve list is not a promise that it will be reprinted, but the general trend we see is that if the card has reprint equity, meaning that it is desirable for reprint, it gets reprinted. Like, more supply of it is made. The amount of the supply that is pumped out there, that's a little bit different. Some cards are desperately in need of more reprinting. Some of them could probably hold back a little bit, but basically anything that's not on the reserve list is fair game to be printed at any time in any way. Technically, Tarmogoyf or Misty Rainforest could be printed tomorrow in a standard set, massive supply, available at Walmart, Target, Amazon, and they could be commons. Technically, they could do that. They're not going to do that, but they could, because that wouldn't cause, economic distress in the Magic finance world. It's just a thing that would happen. Maybe an extreme example like Misty Rainforest at common would be a bit of a stretch, but yeah, you know what would be interesting? Seeing the price of Tropical Island once they printed Misty Rainforest at common. Do you know how much more it would spike in price, Tropical Island? As all the money would leave things like Modern, people would go to park their money where it's safer. People would have less assurance that Misty Rainforest is a safe investment. And not just Misty Rainforest. The same would be for, similar classes of cards. Dark Confidant, Tarmogoyf, Vendilion Clique, Snapcaster Mage, Stoneforge Mystic, Batterskull, Sword of Feast and Famine. All these cards are all in a similar category. Modern cards, they kind of jumbled up. As we've seen, a lot of the modern uncommons really plummet in price as they get reprinted. Path to Exiles, for instance. I remember Path to Exiles being $7 to $10 a pop. A few reprints later, now you can get OG foil ones for $7. Kitchen Finks. Kitchen Finks was like, a couple dollars at pre-release, and then it, went up to like 10, and then it went to like $15 for an uncommon Kitchen Finks. Now you can buy OG foil ones for $8 or regular Kitchen Finks for 50 cents. Just a matter of reprints. And then we see other cards that do go up when they don't get reprinted. Good example of this would be Utopia Sprawl. Utopia Sprawl slowly has increased from $1 to $2, $4, $6, $8. Now Utopia Sprawl is like $10, and you can't even hold on to them anymore. People just love Utopia Sprawls. It's a 4 of in a Modern deck. Played a little bit in EDH, but I would suspect the price of that common, reprinted only once as an uncommon, so there's a fair amount of them out there. It was a common at one point. The price of it is mostly because it's a 4 of in a Modern deck. So what's the whole point of all this? The point is that if you're going to invest in Magic cards, you want to invest where it's safest. You could also invest where you think there's the most volatility. So if you think that they're not going to reprint Misty Rainforest for 10 years, it's probably a good idea to buy Misty Rainforests. The thing is that you don't know. You don't know when they're going to reprint Misty Rainforest. You don't know when they're going to print Utopia Sprawl. You don't know when they're going to print Stoneforge Mystic. So because of that, they are more sketchy investments to make. It's not that you shouldn't own the card. You should own it if you want to play with it, or you own it if you want to play the deck in a tournament, but don't buy the card suspecting it to go up because it's more risky. There's some people that would say that investing in Dwarven Pony from Homelands is better than investing in Stoneforge Mystic, one of the best white cards ever printed. It doesn't mean that Dwarven Pony will, dwarf the price of Stoneforge Mystic. It just means that one of them is going to have a finite supply. It'll never get reprinted. And the other one can get reprinted to oblivion. Doesn't mean it will, but, your mileage may vary. How you want to invest is the next point I want to bring up. Do you want to be the kind of person that invests in cards and then flips them? I wouldn't even call that investing. That's more like, churn and burn or speculating, okay? So if you want to predict a card that will go up in price because of a certain variable, maybe another card's going to get printed with it. Maybe you suspect it won't get reprinted again for a long time. Those could all be different reasons to invest in a card that isn't a traditional Magic investment, like a reserve list card or a misprint, an artist proof. Something that there isn't going to be more of, So when you invest in something like, let's pick Stoneforge Mystic a lot, but that's an interesting card that people have speculated over the years. People speculated on the card before it got unbanned. Even though it's on the reserve list, they speculated that the card would eventually be unbanned in Modern, which it was. A lot of people saw that coming. And so they invested in them when they were cheaper, because even though they didn't have the plan on flipping them immediately, they planned on I think Stoneforge Mystic is worth more than X dollars, or let's say it was $20. I think Stoneforge Mystic is worth more than $20. So because of that, I'm going to put $20 into a Stoneforge Mystic, times however many you want to do. And with the expected result that you will get more than $20 back when you turn in those Stoneforge Mystics. So if that's the kind of philosophy that you want to be on, where you are predicting an event to happen, or predicting a time period, like, I think Misty Rainforest will not get reprinted for 10 years. So I'm going to sell Misty Rainforest 9 years in, when it's presumably gone up to the highest value it will be before the reprint, for the injection of the supply causes it to go down. And that's going to be my thing. And I'm going to buy the Misties and put them in there. That's fine. That is just a way to do it. It's not something that I recommend, but it's a way to invest, technically. I personally, how I invest in cards that have a long-term store value, meaning that over time, I'm earning money from the card sitting there. Maybe I'll play with it. Maybe I won't. Maybe it's in a box. Maybe it's graded. Maybe it's in a binder. But regardless, it gains money because I own it. And you're going to see a lot of things that are like that. Things like owning a home or property, owning stocks, owning gold, silver, Bitcoin. As you own it, you are rewarded for owning it. So when I look at Magic cards to invest in, I try and make sure that I'm investing in items that will appreciate over time. I'm not as worried about when should I sell it. I'll sell it when I need to sell it. If I need the money, I'll sell it. If I don't need the money, I won't sell it. I won't sell it because I feel it's unsafe, because it is safe. My money is safe with the card. Maybe a better opportunity will come up and I'll need to raise funds or something, but it'll usually be for another investment, right? So it's more of a long-term thing. And if you don't want to get into a long-term thing, if you want to, crack packs, or you want to buy it and then sell it as soon as it doubles in price, you're welcome to do that. It's just a different way of doing things. Some people like to lock in profits. And that's what you do in the stock market usually. You try and play with the house money as often as possible. And I think Magic cards are a little bit different. I think they are something that should be treated more long-term when it comes to the investable Magic cards, at least. So what if you're a standard player or someone who likes to draft? You don't really play many constructed formats. You don't really, invest that much. How do you start building and investing? Well, the first thing, again, you need to consider if you have the funds, step one. Step two, consider what kind of investor you're going to be. Are you going to be a long-term investor, or are you going to be more of a speculator? Somebody who looks for opportunities to buy and then sell to earn money. Slowly is basically what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to put money in slowly. So it's very demoralizing to put money into something when it's at its all-time high. If I tell you, what you should invest in? You should invest in Mox Diamond, okay? Let's pick on Mox Diamond. Reserve list card from Stronghold. Currently, they're about $500 to $700, depending on their condition, depending on where you buy them. So let's say I want you to invest. I think you should invest in Mox Diamond, okay? Let's say you have the money to buy a Mox Diamond. You have the $500 to $700. I got the money. Give me the Mox Diamond, all right? Well, the question is, how long are you in it for, right? Are you going to be the kind of person that is expecting that card to magically double at some point in the near future and then you're going to cash it in? Or are you the person that's going to take the steady returns that the card gives you as time goes on? And, you have to really ask yourself that question honestly, because investing isn't for everybody, and that's okay. You don't need to always necessarily invest with the Magic cards. There's 572 cards on the reserve list, and it's most of them are at their all-time high currently. Most of the cards are at the most expensive they've ever been. And it's difficult to park your money in that. It's difficult to say to yourself, wow, I should definitely buy right now, even though it just spiked at some point in the last 12 months. It's higher than it's ever been. And if I had bought last year, I could have got it for $350. If I had bought it 3 years ago, that was right when I thought of buying it. I could have bought it 3 years ago for $200, near mint condition. And a few years before that, you could have bought it for $75. Before that, you could have bought 30. I think I got my Mox Diamonds for $15 a pop. And that was expensive. It's expensive. I remember there was a Legacy tournament that I had split the finals of, and the first place prize was Mox Emerald. Okay, unlimited played Mox Emerald, and me and my opponent were like, hey, you know, like we could play it out. One of us gets the Mox Emerald, the other person gets, you know, not much. So do you just want to like split it and sell it back to the store for store credit? He's like, all right, sure. So we took the Mox Emerald and we sold it back to the store. And like the store owner's like, oh, I'll give you, I think it was like $600 at the time. And we each got $300, I remember. So maybe the Mox Emerald was worth like $800. So he gave us like $600. We each got $300 each. And it was like good day in the office, you know, $300 each. And it's just crazy because, you know, maybe that was 10 years ago, but that was a Mox Emerald. And now Mox Diamond is the price of that Mox Emerald. You know, so it's only a matter of time. You know, now Mox Emeralds are, you know, $2,000-$3,000 a piece. It's only going to be a matter of time. I'm not saying it's going to be soon. I'm not saying you should go sell the house to buy Mox Diamonds, but it's only a matter of time before the Mox Diamonds start approaching the current price of Mox Emerald. And then what does that do to Mox Emeralds? Where's Mox Emerald going to go? I don't know. So it's just a matter of perspective. It's at the highest it's ever been. Is now the best time to buy it? Well, I think they're going to go higher. Not just Mox 9. I think many cards are going to go higher. So when you're asking the question, how do you invest in Magic the Gathering cards? You have to look past the emotions. You have to look at what cards you want, maybe either to play with, or what cards you have a personal affinity towards, or what cards you think are undervalued, or just generally good investing spreads on Magic cards, and just buy them. That's how you do it. I'm not going to go over like, you know, how to acquire money to do so and everything like that, but you just have to buy them. And, you know, don't wait for them to go backwards because they're only going forwards. And that's all I got for you today. Let me know, are there any cards that you're interested in buying, speculating on, thinking about? I'm always listening. And, you know, what do you think is your biggest hurdle to getting into investing if you haven't? Or what is something that you could give advice for others who might invest?